Romain, shall we get started? Because we
We
have an hour with Gerry and very many questions.
we shall. All right, let's get right into it. So before we start, you know, like everyone knows, this is Arweave's Voice. Now, what is Arweave's Voice exactly? Well, this is a platform for Arweave projects, not just Arweave projects, but um, talking about Arweave, right? So, how does Arweave's Voice work? Well, we have two sections today. Usually we have three, but I guess today we'll only have two, right? Right, Mr. Henry?
Exactly. Just
All
two
right,
for today.
perfect. So
Prepping the third
section.
one for next one.
Ah,
Next week.
nice, nice, nice. So the first section is ecosystem news, basically, and development. And the second section is a nice deep dive into the project. So today's project will be deep diving into everVision. Okay. And here, obviously, I'm with everVision as well, but today I'm not. Let's just pretend I'm not, right? Gerry is going to be presenting, answering all the questions about everVision that there is, and then we'll get on to it. Um, I'd also like to present our nice little co-host here, Mr. Henry. You wanna say a little few words before we get to Gerry?
Of course. Well, some of you might know me, but I'm Henry from Permaweb.news. And once every 2 weeks, I'm the very happy co-host with Romain of Arweave's Voice, Twitter Space podcast format where we try to learn more about the project and the ecosystem. And this week, me personally, I'm excited because even though Romain says he won't answer any questions, I'm gonna make him answer some. So I'm gonna grill him a bit. And I'm very excited about today's space because everVision is an exciting project that has built a fantastic community around it. So I'm quite eager to learn more. And with that, I'm gonna give the word to Gerry, if you would do a small introduction for us, so people get to know you, for those who don't yet.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me here. I think it's my second time, right? I remember I used to participate in this tour space once. Um, I'm Gerry from everVision, and I'm a CMO at everVision. I used to work in blockchain industry for 5 years, and before at the first 4 years, I worked in a crypto wallet, some token, uh, and do some marketing and branding stuff. And then in 2022, I leave. I left Token and joined everVision. And then I in charge of marketing stuff and uh, and try my best to help the everVision to promote in the ecosystem or promote in a industry and let more people know what is everVision, what is Everpay, PermaSwap, Web3 Infra, and PermaDAO. So very happy to come to this career space, and I noticed that today has tons of questions for me. So I want to
Indeed,
take some time.
we let you off easy last time, but this time we have a lot of questions for you.
Yes, yes.
Oh yes, we do. All right, so I'll begin with this one. Okay, Mr. Henry, let me add it. Okay, now we're gonna go into the news part of this section. Okay, and we're gonna kick things off with Warp. Okay, because what have they done? They have decentralized their Warp sequencer. All right, so what does that mean exactly? Now I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that means. Henry, do you know what that means?
To some extent, to some extent.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously, we understand what decentralization is, right? But what does that mean for Warp?
okay, so you have to think of this way. If I get it right, and I might be wrong, so if there's anybody more technical on this space who will correct me, I'm happy for them to do that. But the warp sequencer is the piece of code that basically uh, is the interface of the warp smart contracts and Arweave per se, right? So the sequencer is the one who bundles everything using bundler, of course, and sends it to the Arweave network. And today, because of performance, because of user convenience, and because, of course, of lower cost, the sequencer is centralized. But because, as we know, centralization has been a hot topic uh, in the past few months in the Arweave ecosystem, and everybody's moving to a decentralized model, the team at Warp has outlined, well, first off, a couple of weeks ago, they did some very intensive research, which they published on how to decentralize their sequencer. And I think 2 weeks ago, they actually laid out the plans and the roadmap for how they want to decentralize it and how it will look like. And the good news is they're keeping all the advantages of a centralized solution, security, performance, simplicity, but they're also adding a layer of decentralization on top of it. So basically, in the end, and the end state, there's going to be a network of sequencers that are going to be the ones executing and bundling everything and sending it to Arweave. Now, simplistic explanation, because that's my technical level, so to say. Probably somebody can go more in depth, but the idea is we're moving towards a decentralized future, and the services, because realistically, in the Arweave ecosystem today, there are services which, let's say, operate with some small bits of centralized services or small bits of centralized products, but that's because of, it's the first iteration, so to speak. But this and all the other steps the other participants in the ecosystem are taking are proof that we do believe in decentralization and that we do see that as the end goal, to providing the fully decentralized Permaweb. So it's great.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And we actually talked about it a lot, notably with Josh. I think the last Twitter space I did with you, at least, we talked about decentralization and how most of the projects are obviously, a bit centralized, which is normal at the beginning, but the end goal is obviously this decentralization, which is very important. At least for everVision, I know that it's kind of like a sweet spot between both of them, centralization and decentralization. But that's something we'll get into in a bit. Now, number two.
No. I want to add on some perspective. Yeah. For this part, I want to say everPay has a roadmap as well. And so our roadmap, you will find the everPay network is totally decentralized in the future. Our project wrote a similar article about the solution 2 years ago, I think. If you are interested in that, I remember we have uploaded that article on Permaweb.news, I think. The key role in everPay, we call it the coordinator. It is the same as a sequencer in Warp network, actually. And in the future, and now in everPay, just one coordinator, but in the future, anyone can be one of the coordinators. We will issue a platform token, and the people who hold the token, that platform token, who hold the platform token, can stake them in everPay network to be a coordinator. It looks more like a validator in a POS network, right? So thanks to the Arweave, we don't need to worry about the consensus part. We can build a POS network on top of Arweave directly, so that we can create a total decentralized network with a trusted consensus. So that's our roadmap. If you are interested in that, I think maybe you can find that an article and get more details about it. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, I guess we don't even need to ask that question at the end of. We don't need to ask any roadmap questions because we already got it. Perfect. Now let's head number 2. Are you ready for number 2, Mr. Henry? Because you're the tech guy.
Of course.
All right, ready. All right, let's get. All right, so Fair Protocol, the AI marketplace built on Arweave, launches the new music gen model, which is, I think, that's pretty cool. So what does that mean exactly, Mr. Henry? I'm going to ask you the questions today. What does that mean?
Perfect. So for those who don't know, Fair Protocol is a project built on Arweave, built on a Permaweb exclusively, that is aiming to democratize access to AI. And as part of that, they've built a marketplace where you can basically execute AI models paying with Arweave. I don't know exactly everything they're doing because they have a huge roadmap, and the task of democratizing AI and putting it in the Permaweb is a huge one. But they've already have some models in place, such as the Llama generative model, And recently, last week actually, they've launched this music gen model, which you can run, and it will run on the Permaweb, and it will store the outputs on the Permaweb. And the music gen model basically lets you describe a tune. So, for instance, a guitar, a mellow guitar with some piano, and basically the AI model will generate it for you, and you'll have your sweet tune generated right on Arweave. Now, besides this, the team has also launched some improvements to user experience, logging in with Arweave Wallet, with Connect and Arweave app, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the two options they have in place. So the team is working very intensively on bringing AI to the Permaweb, which I think is definitely something to be applauded, and it's a nice initiative. Plus, in my mind, I think the Permaweb is and Romain, you might have heard me talk about this because I kept saying this. The Permaweb is a perfect solution for building, let's say, trustless AI models, right? When you have all the data
Oh
stored
yeah,
in the Permaweb and you can train it there, it's actually a great solution for AI. And
I agree. And with the U token coming out, I'm sure you've heard of the U token, right, Mr. Henry?
I've heard of the U token. Yes.
Yeah, so that'll help as well. I think everything's coming together nice and slowly. We have payment protocols, we have these fair protocols, we have bundling systems, we have everything, and soon enough everything will come together. Number three piece of news for today is the Arweave kit that has been launched. I'm pretty sure this is Community Labs that's done this, right?
Yes, it's a launch by Community Labs.
Okay, so you wanna give us a little in-depth explanation of what exactly this means for Arweave?
Yes. So, in short, it simplifies developer experience on Arweave, which in turn should bring more adoption to the ecosystem and should make developers should help developers have a smoother onboarding. Now, what Arweave Kit does is it bundles in the four components of a dApp, or the four core components of a dApp, which means it gives you access to wallets, it gives you access to transactions, smart contracts, and authentication. And basically, it leverages functionalities from different protocols like Warp Contracts, Bundler, RAO Team. So it's basically a toolkit to connect all of these things in one place and to make life easier for developers. So what I think the team hopes to see, and what we all hope to see, is people adopting the library and using it to more easily build apps on top of Arweave, which is definitely a great initiative, and definitely a step forward for building on Arweave and for making things easier, especially for new developers.
I agree. That's it's a great way to onboard different people who don't really want to spend the time learning about Arweave and everything. This just makes it so much easier. So I agree with that. Thank you for that explanation, Mr. Henry. And now we go up to number 4. So number 4 is Authent. Protocol has been launched. I believe this was last week, actually, together with Weave Transfer. Actually, Weave Transfer is the first time I ever hear about that. So, Henry, you wanna give us the spiel? What are these things? What is Authent and what is Weave Transfer?
Well, Authent is I would say an authentication service, which basically removes a need for Arweave wallets. Now, you're right, it was launched a couple of days ago, last week, so I haven't gotten the chance to go in depth and see exactly how it works, but it basically allows you to replace the old wallet interface and the wallet authentication with a very simple email and password login, or even Google account login. So that's what Authent is. And Weave Transfer is a new product which is aiming to replicate WeTransfer, and it basically leverages Authent to give you the option to store data on the Permaweb, just like WeTransfer does. I think everybody has used WeTransfer at least once in their lives, but it's a fully Permaweb service, so your files are there forever, and they're safe, and you have access to them at any point in time. So it's a great tool for onboarding new users, especially those who don't want to deal with wallet management and all the intricacies of having a wallet, maintaining your private keys. So it's a great tool for, especially for Web2 folks who haven't really interacted with the Permaweb and haven't interacted with Web3. It should definitely help them out. And related to that, I think there's also something we'll talk about later, everAD, which I think is a bit similar to Authent and is aiming to do the same thing in some respects.
Yeah, as you're going there. All right, perfect. Well, that's all the news that we have for this week. So I have a little question for Gerry. What's your most, I'm not gonna say interesting, but I guess what's your favorite piece of news from the Arweave news this week? Oh, I think.
Sorry? You asked me? You asked me a
Yeah, I
question?
asked you what's your favorite piece of the news? So we have four pieces with the Warp, Fair Protocol, Arweave Kit, and Authent. Which one do you think is something, what's your favorite piece of news?
Must I choose one? I think number one, warp sequencer.
Remember? Yeah, Warp.
Warp sequencer. Yeah, because warp sequencer has a similar with us, because they are sequencer, we are a coordinator, but the difference is warp sequencer just sequence the transaction and let bundler to upload or data onto Arweave. But everpay is the coordinator. We combine sequencer and the RCD together, and we can upload data onto Arweave by ourselves. So that's a difference. But we follow the same paradigm. We call it the SAP paradigm, storage-based basic consensus paradigm. So we follow the same thing, and I'm very happy they choose the same way, and we will do that as well in the future.
Perfect. All right, so let's get right into the question. So now we're going to get into part two of the question, or the question
Okay.
of the Twitter space. And these are questions for you, Mr. Gerry. Are you ready for the first question? So first of all, as you may know, there are many things when it comes to everVision, right? And there's quite a few products. So where do we start exactly, right? Can you talk about what products everVision has?
Product everVision have? Okay.
Everything, just like the first one to the last one.
We not only have some products, but also has some institution or projects. Like the first is everpay. Everpay is a payment protocol. The second is the Permaswap. It's based on that everpay to build. So the Permaswap has the same feature with everpay. And the third is Web3 infra. It includes for open source tools in Web3 infra. And we want to open source all of them to the whole community, whole ecosystem, and help developers to build things on top of Arweave. And the fourth is PermaDAO. PermaDAO now is big now and has more than 100 people working that DAO. And we hope it can be the biggest community in our Arweave ecosystem. And fifth is SAP Arweave SAP Ventures. These ventures we collaborate with Arweave org, and the goal of it is to find talent or some perfect projects in Asia or even all over the world to find the projects and invest them. Those are all things what we do.
Perfect. Henry, you have any questions about what he just stated there?
Well, I have many questions, but I would start with PermaDAO, if that's fine with you, Gerry. I'm trying to understand more about PermaDAO, and I think it's very important for the community to understand what PermaDAO is and what it sets out to do. So could you talk to us a bit about what its role is in the Arweave ecosystem and what initiatives it's undertaking?
Okay, of course. about the PermaDAO, we hope PermaDAO can be the biggest community in Arweave ecosystem, just like I mentioned before. And we hope it can gather people from all over the world to work and contribute to the Arweave. So we call it Arweave Co-Building DAO. This DAO has two functions. The first function is a co-building. We have established series of principles for everybody's collaboration. If you are familiar with our DAO, you will be impressed with our workspace on Notion, right? It's a huge system on Notion. It has a different kind of systems such as submit system, content creating system, developer system, and promotion system, and so on. So we built a lot of things on Notion, so that everybody who participates in it can find a place to work. We also set a price for all the work in the DAO and pay off contributors on a weekly basis as they complete their work. And we send AR for a reward every week in Discord. Some projects that use our EverPay to build a Discord channel tipping boat. If you are an owner of a Discord channel, once you install that boat, you can transfer crypto to anybody in your channel. It's pretty easy, and the users don't need to have a EverPay account. If that guy wants to transfer or restore the crypto to their EverPay account, they must connect his EverPay account and Discord account. But if he don't want to withdraw that, he don't need to do that. He just keep that crypto in Discord, and he can tip in to another people, or he even can send a red packet or lucky draw. We call it lucky draw in the channel. It's very funny. It's very funny. So that's the first function of PermaDAO, the co-building. And second function of PermaDAO is incubation. We set several level of grants in DAO. If a developer or a project want to build on top of Arweave, they can find us and apply the grant. The premise is that they must use our setting and EverPay, of course, right? So we hope that this will create a large Arweave ecosystem, at least in Asia, because in Arweave ecosystem, most of our projects are based in Europe and North America. But in Asia, it's not many projects. And we will be a major force to extend that power in Asia. So we want to expand our DAO in the whole Asia area and attract more contributors or developers or some investors into this community. Yeah, that's a DAO. What we hope the PermaDAO can do.
Okay, so two things, if I were to summarize. One is co-creation, co-building, right? And the second one is incubating new projects. Now, yeah. I do have 3 questions on this. First off comes the creation part. The creation part is the, creation and co-building part. I'm curious, can anybody join? Can anyone come to PermaDAO, and if they're willing to develop or if they're willing to create content with our ecosystem, are there any entry to barriers?
Or is it entry barrier? Yes, but at the beginning we don't know. Yeah, everybody wants to join in the PermaDAO. They need to submit apply application form, and he is required to give some information about himself, like what group he wants to join. What kind of a skill he has, etc., etc. Then we'll choose some people and invite them into the PermaDAO's group and let him to choose one group to join in and contribute to the whole DAO. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So you're basically
about barrier. I think at the beginning we can't recognize the person is good or not. So the barrier is not very high. So we want to we hope they can join in and work for a while. If they are if he is not good enough or he can't support us very well, we will persuade him to not get out, just quit. But if he can do a very good job, okay, we'll welcome him to be a leader of a group of PermaDAO in PermaDAO. Yeah.
That is amazing. You're basically democratizing. Anybody can join PermaDAO. Anybody who applies chooses a path they want to take, and they can basically build their own future with PermaDAO if they're willing to put in the work and the quality expected. That's great. So that's a very good point for our listeners who want to participate in the Arweave ecosystem. PermaDAO is a great option for doing that. And I think you guys have been extremely, let's say, dedicated in building out the Notion and the whole system for rewarding developers, for rewarding content creators, for rewarding promoters. So congrats on that. I've seen the Notion a few times. It's intimidating at first because there's such a complex system built on top of it. But to be honest, it's amazing the work you've done to democratize the access and to encourage people to contribute to our ecosystem, which is great. Now, the second part, and this is related to the community aspect, so to say. I know that, for instance, Arweave has, as you said, Arweave is mostly focused in Europe, the US, and the Western side of the world. But I know there's quite a large community that you guys have developed, a grassroots community, so to say, which even Sam was very impressed with. And I'm curious to see how that community has evolved over time, how many people you have contributing to Arweave, and the whole community you've built in Asia around Arweave. Because I think it's almost fully your merit, because you have basically opened the doors for Arweave in Asia.
You mean how large is our community?
Yeah. I'm curious how large it is, and if you have an idea of when you started building a community and how large it is today.
Now more than 100 people are working in the DAO and used to get rewards from the DAO. I think the specific number is 150. I've got the specific number, but around that number. As for just following our DAO, it should be thousands of people. The specific number, I don't know. And in addition to that, we are try our best to find more projects in Asia ecosystem, Asia Web3 industry, and persuade them to upload their data onto the Arweave. That is the things we do every day, and we want to create the whole Asian Arweave ecosystem and let more people know what is Arweave and let more people jump in to this ecosystem. Yes.
That is great. And I guess that's where Arweave SCP or PermaDAO and the incubation function of PermaDAO also has a role to play, right? The grants you give out to projects to build on Arweave using RCD and Everpay. And can I ask, just as a quick recap, because I think we've spoken about these a bit before, but it's always good to know. Can you tell us about the different grants you give out as part of PermaDAO?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I was curious for those of our listeners who don't know about the PermaDAO grants for projects. I was wondering if you can tell us about the different tiers of grants you usually give out.
Yes. We have. I remember we have four levels, 4 tiers. And for the project, if a project just use our seeding to upload the data onto Arweave, we give maybe the 1 level and 2 level grant. If they use integrate the everPay payment protocol as well, we give a higher, maybe a 3rd one or the 4th one. And if they can contribute to the whole Arweave ecosystem to help us to fix some problems, we will give a top grant to them. So we have a person in DAO to in charge of that every day. So if you are interested about that, you can contact us and apply through your idea to us and apply the grant in DAO.
Great. So for any interested projects, just head on over to PermaDAO and apply if you want to build on Arweave and you want PermaDAO support. Awesome. Now, Romain, do you have any questions for Gerry, or should I continue? Because I have a lot of them.
I have one. If you wish, it's mainly about everVision. Can I go to everVision? Let's go to everVision now, right? And it's about I think it was the first product actually built, which is everPay. Gerry, can you tell us a little bit about everPay? What makes everPay, so payment protocol, different from a banking service or from, I guess, any payment or any other payment protocols in crypto that may exist?
Romain, I think your network is not stable and it's so lagging. I'm not sure it's my problem or your problem.
Henry, did you hear me fine?
I heard you. It's a bit echoey, I think, but I did hear you. But Gerry, I can repeat Romain's question. He was curious about everPay. He told us it was one of the first products the team at everVision actually built. And we were curious about everPay as a payment protocol, what makes it special, what is per se.
Okay. everPay is our co-product, which I have mentioned before. The reason why we want to produce it is that we hope lower barrier as much as possible, so it can onboard at least 1 billion people to Web3. That's our vision. We used to work in EOA crypto wallet. I'm token before. I don't know you heard it or not, but this wallet is very big in Asia. So we spent 3 to 4 years in this wallet, and we think we noticed that not every ordinary people or ordinary users can keep their assets for security. They don't even know what is mnemonic phrases. They don't know what is a state phrases or a private key, and they don't know how to keep them safe. So we can accept a lot of cases about the asset losing or hack attacking or etc. etc. That is sad stories. Those are sad stories. So we think for a product, if this product want to go outside of the Web3 ecosystem to go into the Web2 industry, we need lower the barriers for users, especially don't need them to know what is a private key, what is a mnemonic phrases. Just let them use the product. Don't need to learn the product. So then we go out and jumped out and want to build another low barriers product. So we built the everPay, and the everPay follows a new development paradigm as CP. I believe you have heard about it a lot. It is different from a mainstream narrative of the industry. We took the computing off the chain, but still stores all the data on an immutable chain, such as Arweave. which allows for permissionless verifiability. And anyone could use on-chain data and open source programs to verify the state was correct or not, anywhere at any time. So it let everpay obtain trustless consensus. That means in everpay, you don't need to trust us. You don't need to trust anybody. You just verify it by yourself. That's it. And how it can help users, I want to say, it will be a game changer. I believe all the time it will be a game changer. We'll see. Think about it. Millisecond transaction without any gas fee, no TPS limitation, and multi-chain aggregator. everpay can be an unified crypto payment channel to help everyone in everywhere to use crypto. So that is everpay. And recently we found everpay can do more in traditional banking ecosystem. We have collaborated with some bank, and we hope everpay and the Permaswap can use for traditional financial ecosystem as infrastructure. Just understand like that. everpay you can understand as a borderless transport system, crypto transport system, borderless transport system. Yes, and the Permaswap. If we list more digital fiat currency on Permaswap, and Permaswap can be a decentralized foreign exchange platform. So we combine everpay and Permaswap together. It can be a fantastic infrastructure for a traditional financial system, especially for cross-border payments. We can increase 10 times the efficiency for this system and decrease the cost at least 10 times compared with a Swift system. So it's very interesting. We are trying to do that.
It is indeed, and it is indeed exciting. So just to, and this is a question I do have personally, I'm trying to understand. Can I ask what the difference between everpay and Permaswap is?
Between okay, difference between the everpay and the Permaswap, right?
Yes, exactly.
Actually, they are same because the everpay is a payment protocol. So everpay is not a specific product; it's a protocol. So we can use this protocol to build a lot of things like a wallet, like NFT auction system, like DEX, like a DEX, like another thing. Yeah. everpay can be integrated in any product and platform. And Permaswap use everpay protocol to build a DEX. So that's why Permaswap has the same feature with everpay, like millisecond exchange, and without any gas fee, multiple chain, multi-chain assets can exchange on Permaswap. No TPS limit, so it can be used in high frequency trading, and so that actually is the same as everpay.
Okay, that's very interesting. It clears up a question I had, and I think that makes perfect sense. So even though people do interact with everpay as a product, and it's a very useful product because it allows you to exchange tokens, allows you to hold tokens, it allows you to do all of these things instantly and without gas fees, everpay is in fact a protocol on which the everpay product and Permaswap are built. Am I correct? Am I getting this right?
It's a permit.
Because
Network
everpay is the protocol, right? And on
Yes.
top of everpay, the protocol, there's
Mm.
two products being built, if I get this right. First is the everpay with which users interact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's
Yeah.
PermaSwap, which is a different product all in itself, which is a DEX per se for a multi-chain DEX.
Yes. When you use everpay wallet, that wallet is a specific product, and you can understand that that wallet is used on top of everpay, and the PermaSwap is a DEX also built on top of everpay. So yeah, I think your understanding is right. It's correct.
Great. And two things about everpay. I think one of the most important things, and it's a very important thing for the ecosystem, and you briefly mentioned it, but I want to go in depth about it, is your partnership with Legend Trading, right? Which allows people to buy Arweave and crypto with their credit card and maybe even bank transfer, if I remember it correctly.
Bank transfer. Yeah. We have a collaboration with a bank in Malaysia.
So this is from what I gather, and I'm not sure exactly how this is true, but Arweave is quite hard to find. So I think the fact that everpay has this integration, this on-ramp, this crypto on-ramp, is a great thing for the ecosystem because people can get their hands more easily on Arweave.
Yeah.
So
not
I think
only Arweave. Yeah. In my perspective, the on-ramp and the off-ramp is critical, important, just like you said. The critical important channel to connect the fiat and the crypto, or you can understand it as to connect the reality and the future financial system. So in our perspective, all users should go to the layer 2, and don't need to interact with layer 1 because the UX of layer 1 is so bad. Long waiting packet time, a high gas fee cost, and TPS limitation. All of them will stop and ordinary users from Web 2. But on layer 2, we can do more things. And because all data are stored on layer 1, so you can trust it all the time. Because of this, we hope users can on-ramp to layer 2 directly. So we collaborate with Legend Trading as a meaningful. And the Legend Trading, I believe, it's just the beginning. In addition to that, we have a close collaboration with a bank in Malaysia. That bank's name is Asia Digital Bank. Because that bank is not big, it's a small bank, but they have a strong willing to use Web3 to empower them. Yeah, they have issued one-to-one Chinese yuan packed assets, ACNH. I don't know you have heard that or not. ACNH. It's simply put, it's a digital Chinese yuan. And it is fully legal and compliant. And if you create a bank account in that bank, you can mint and burn ACNH with offshore Chinese yuan. I want to say that is a new choice for investors. Since US dollars, US dollars might have some problem in the future. So we believe this collaboration will open a new era, especially in Asia, and that also can help the Chinese yuan maybe they go outside of go to all of the world. So it's a big thing, and I believe that is also a killer function. Yeah.
No, I think it's crazy important if I think about it. An officially digitally issued currency living on blockchain and leveraging the everpay protocol. So I think you're being a bit modest when saying that it can one day become the financial infrastructure of the future, because the majority of requirements, the majority of features you guys have built are already being used. So people can buy an official token, an official digital version of a currency using Everpay. So to be honest, I think it's quite great, and it'd be great to see the same attitude and the same openness from other countries as well, and from other regions as well. So kudos to that, and congrats on that, because I think it's really a real and meaningful step towards creating the next digital infrastructure and the next digital payment infrastructure.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I do have a lot more questions, but we're going to be running out of time soon. So I do have to ask you this. We've seen a sneak peek, I think last week or the week beforehand, of everID. And I think it was closely related to your guys' ambition of onboarding the next billion user to Web3. And it's a lofty ambition. But I want to understand what everID is and how it fits into that ambition. How will it help that ambition?
Okay. Okay. everID is not a new idea. Our prog has this idea since he started this company several years ago. But he didn't do the everID at that time. That because it's because some reasons, because some don't have a lot of assets Arweave, and don't have a lot of assets don't have a requirement of the payment stuff. So we just postpone that until now. So now we want to create this function, another killing function. Okay, today I said a lot of killing function. The everVision, everID is another killer function. It is also another option for users to create an account on Everpay. It is not the required user to have a crypto EOA wallet at all. Just like that means you don't need to have a MetaMask wallet. You don't need to have a Trust wallet or token wallet, etc., etc. Users can use Gmail to create an Everpay account directly. And the technical things, I'm not a tech. My background is not a technical. I'm not a technical guy, so I can give a very specific technical details. But I can say we use some very good solutions in industry, not the Web3 industry, but also in the Web2 industry, because this solution has a very long use, exists a very long time. So we use this solution to keep a private key, keep a key in your device security chip, like your smartphone security chip or your computer security chip, and make your device be a hardware wallet. Because everID is another smart account, a smart contract account, so we can use some way to resume your account, like a social way or another way. I don't know how to say that. But we have a solution to resume your account. So that the users don't need to keep their keys or back up their mnemonic phrases or seed phrases or private key on a piece of paper, and they don't need to worry about they will lose their private key. So it's very easy to use in the future. And we believe the reason why we believe it is the killer function is since we noticed that a lot of Web2 projects has waiting to use crypto or jumped into the Web3. But when they found the barrier of it, they just give up. I talked to a lot of project owners, and they just ask the question, how their users can use your payment. When I said, okay, they must have the MetaMask the wallet first, okay, they will give up because it's too difficult. So in the future, we can tell them, okay, your users just need to have a Gmail, and then they can register everpay account, and then can receive or transfer crypto in everpay network. So it's a lower barriers as much as possible for everybody on this planet, and we believe we can onboard more users through this function in the future. Yeah, we have confidence to do that.
So that's a very good answer, and I think everid is indeed something very exciting because, as you said, most users sometimes get scared or sometimes feel it's too complicated to manage and to make sure that they still have access to their wallets after a while. So it's good to see some progress being made in the direction. And I'm curious to see how it will all look like because I think there's two keys to this. First, it's you making it easy for the user, but also security, making it stay secure and making sure that users can retrieve their account in a trust manner, so to say. So I'm very curious to see how everid will shape up to be and when the product launches. And with that, I'm going to ask my next question. Can you tell us a bit about when we can expect the everid to come out and when we can expect to use our everid to access Web3?
When, right? Yeah,
Yes.
we are producing that, and recently we just released a sneak peek a tweet on tweet, and that sneak peek is the picture or videos we use our design draft to do that, and that means we are doing that. We put all our developer resources in these things, and we hope we can launch this function in two months. Yeah, 2 months.
That is awesome. So by fall this time, we'll be able to use the everid and we'll get to see how it all works. I'm excited, to be honest, because I think it's great to have these kind of tools. And I think Authent, which launched this week, is a step in that direction as well, which is great to see how people can more easily access Web3. And I can't wait for the everid to launch as well. I'll have to give up my MetaMask and my Connect, but I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to see how it all works in a more simple manner. How about you, Romain?
I'm excited as well.
Please, Gerry, I interrupted you. You think it's exciting as well?
Yeah, I think I'm exciting as well because I use crypto wallets all the time, and I think the barrier is so high, and I hope one day we can have a product which can attract normal users outside the supermarket and ask them to be users of our product. It's I think yeah, that day will come. Maybe just in several months.
How about you, Romain?
Oh, what do I think about that? Oh, let me just say that in Berlin, I had the amazing chance to meet pretty cool people, and there are Web2, I'm not going to say projects, but companies that are looking to find easier ways to onboard users. Well, not easier ways. They want to be in the Web3, but the thing is, it's so difficult for normal users that they just can't do it yet. So things like everid or Authent or things like that, that's definitely something that can help bring in more users indirectly. We'll say, you'll have different companies that will start using Arweave because Arweave is amazing. It provides so much, just so much in general that Web2 companies are starting to actually see that it has a lot of potential. The only problem is it's just so difficult for users. So yeah, that's my little intake on that.
I agree, and I think especially the Permaweb has a lot of great use cases that Web2 companies and Web2 products could leverage. And I think making it easier for users and developers to use Web3 and to have their users access Web3 is going to be a boon in popularity. Now, Gerry, I have an idea based on what you said. You said you want people at the supermarket using Web3. And I'm curious about it because I have a question for you. Is it true that in Asia there's a lot of payment being done with QR codes?
It's true that what in Indonesia?
No, in Asia. Is it true that in
In
Asia
Asia. In
there's a
Asia.
lot of
Okay.
payments, even in Asia, but in Asia? I know Alipay, for instance, is mostly QR based, and I know it's been quite a boon to digital payments. Am I right? Do I have the correct information?
Yes, I think most of Asian countries, but especially in China, we don't use cash. We don't take my wallet or card, the credit card with me, and I just use my phone. Even I want to go across the street and buy some breakfast, I use Alipay or WeChat Pay. Or some if you find some beggar on street, they will show you a QR code and ask you to transfer some money to him. So in China, nobody use cash, and everybody use the Alipay or WeChat Pay, or everybody use the QR code for payment.
That's truly amazing. I had no idea that even begging has gone digital, but I'm surprised to hear that. But it's very interesting to see how technology got adopted all over the world. And to that end, this is why I asked you this, because I had a question. Are you guys planning to build these types of payment systems with everPay? Considering it's instant, gas-free, I would see so many use cases where people could pay each other with a QR code, and you could select exactly what currency you want to pay out of. The person who's selling you something can select in what currency they'd like and what token they'd like to be paid. everPay could do the exchange automatically. So I'm curious to see if you guys have thought about such use cases already and if you're implementing them to some extent. Because I think it could be a great boon to have people, ask for a payment in our and receive it, even if the other person has Ethereum or whatever other token.
We have a plan to do that in the future, and actually we have features, but we will not release that features. We just use that by ourselves. In everPay, we can generate QR code, receive QR code, and if you use everPay or your Trust Wallet or MetaMask, will scan that QR code. You can jump into a payment page and pay crypto directly. It's very useful, and the UX user experience is just like Alipay or WeChat Pay. Because we are living in China for a very long time. Yeah, because we're Chinese people. So we are very familiar with digital payments, and we hope the crypto payments can as convenient as possible, as like Alipay or WeChat Pay. And I believe that day will coming. Is coming. That day is coming. And the crypto payments, the benefit of crypto payments is Alipay and the WeChat Pay we just can use in China or part of Asian country. But if we use the crypto everPay for crypto payment, we can pay everywhere, even in Africa or North America. We can do that as well. So that is meaningful, and we will do that. We will do that in a very near future.
That's great to hear, because I think that can be powerful. Having instant crypto payments anywhere in the world with a QR code, that would be truly fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I made you talk too much, and I apologize for that, but I'm just too curious about what you guys are doing. Now, we're closing in on the hour. Actually, we reached the hour, but I do have a few more questions for you. Two, to be specific. First is, what are some of your favorite apps or use cases that use everVision technology, that use Everpay, that use R seeding? Can you tell us a bit about what your favorite ones are?
My favorite is everpay and Permaswap. And now Permaswap is very good deck. If you want to try, you can try it. And you can make money in it in it. So we just post a tweet on Permaswap's Twitter account, so you can see that. You can read that. Because everpay and Permaswap is instant payment exchange, and without any gas fee, so we can use that in very convenient. And now I put all my crypto assets in my everpay wallet and the Permaswap. So that when the market dumps, I will buy some crypto like a BTC or AR. I will buy some when market dumps very heavy. So and now I use everpay and Permaswap every day. So I hope you guys can do that as well.
That's great.
I use it every day as well, by the way. Just saying.
To be honest, I use it quite often as well because, Romain, you know, our episodes are hosted permanently on Permacast, and Permacast has integrated both Everpay for payments and R seeding for storage and for posting to Arweave. So
wait, so how easy is it? Like, tell me, like from you know a user who's not with everVision, how easy is it to use Everpay?
to be honest,
Or is it hard?
it's very easy to use Everpay. So the one thing, so I started using Everpay exactly in this for this because Permacast used it. So I basically went to Overpay, created an account, which was super easy. The only part which took a bit longer than I expected, but I know this is not an Everpay feature or an Everpay related thing, was you had to wait a bit until your funds got to Everpay. So I used to have them
Yeah.
in my Connect. So it took, I think, about 15 minutes until my funds arrived in Everpay. But after that, it was a breeze. It was all instant, no issues at all. So it was truly great. The only complaint I have is about the fact that indeed you have to go to that L2, but it's a one-time thing, right? You don't do it every day.
Yeah.
So when you have,
Yeah, of course.
except that,
But
it's been a breeze, to be honest.
But now the good thing is that you can actually buy crypto directly on Everpay, which is Everpay, which is a good thing. The only thing I think we're missing would be an app, right? An actual app for like iPhone or Android or whatever. I think that's but I think that's probably for the future. If we could have something like that, then I think we're definitely headed towards the right place.
Yeah, and leading on to what I was saying before, what I asked there before, if that app could generate QR payments as well, think of it this way. We're going out for a beer in Berlin next year. You're paying for the beers, and you're asking me for the beer. You're asking me for my share of the beer because I'm gonna be drinking more than you, of course. So you're gonna ask me to pay. You just give me your QR code. I go into my Everpay app. I scan it, and boom, there goes your R back to you.
Yeah, that's a good scenario.
Yeah, that's a great. I can see it. I can see it now. Does that mean you're coming to Berlin, Henry, next year?
Hopefully so. Well, we'll have to see the next year because, as we all know, crypto is a fast-moving place. But maybe it's not going to be Berlin next year. But we definitely have to meet up for a beer sometime. If not,
maybe next year is a bull market, so everybody can make money in the market.
Hopefully, it started off a little bit as like kind of bull market, and then with the whole meme season thing going on, and then I guess that stopped. And I don't know what's the I don't know what the market doing right now, but we'll definitely see. But anyway, Gerry, thank you very, very much for being on this beautiful Arweave voice. Before we close it off, Henry, do you have any last things you want to say? Questions you want to ask?
Well, I have many more questions for Gerry, but I think we'll have to have him on for another session, especially whenever ID comes out, so he can tell us more about that and how it all works. So I'll keep my last questions for them because we don't want to keep him too long. But thank you, Gerry, for joining us and for being so open about sharing everything everVision is doing and your plans for the future. And
Thank you.
I'm excited for the next one to have you on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hopefully everyone has a fantastic weekend. I know, wait, week. It's
Not
only the
weekend,
beginning of the week.
week.
Yeah,
It's only the
it's the
beginning.
beginning.
Romain, you're a bit too
It's
far.
Monday, man.
I'm so used to doing these on Friday that I was like, oh, it's weekends. No, it's only Monday. Yeah, have a great week. And we'll definitely see you on the next Arweave Voice. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.